Hi, I'm Kari Schneider and we're here with Emily Needles and we're going to do today's exercise, or this week's exercise of the week. It's going to be a ball side plank, but the first thing we're going to start with is just a side plank on the floor so you get the feel for the movement. So Emily's going to do a side plank and I'm going to talk about the finer points of it. When you're doing a side plank, we're going to be working the stabilizers throughout the core and especially your obliques and intercostals and a little bit of quadratus lumborum, some of those specifics along the side. When you do this, you want to have the hips forward, so you want the whole body in a straight line, hence the plank. So Emily, give us a show here. So she's going to push her hips forward. Now, if we wanted to make this a little harder and add some hip stabilizing work and hip active work, we're going to add abduction of the leg. Now, in order to do this, this is a really hard movement. She's got to have strong stabilizers on the lower hip and active glute med work on the top hip. So glute medius is activating here. Now, if she bends too much at the hip here, then she's going to be activating the hip flexor. And we want that hip to be pushed forward and then lead, internally rotate the leg a little bit and lead with the heel so that she can activate the glute medius here. It's a really tough movement, so you have to practice it a few times to see if you can get it. If she can't do this from the long lever, come on down, Emily, then what she's going to do, she's going to go on her side and go from the knee to a side plank. There you go. Hips way forward. And then you can go long levered from this one, so straighten only this leg, internally rotate, lead with the heel, and now it's much more possible for her to do this. It's much easier for her. Still hard. So now we're going to try the side plank on a ball. Now this is going to incorporate a few more shoulder stabilizers while you're doing the stabilization through your core. Now I've got two balls here, but there's a huge difference between the two. So if you're going to start with a side plank, you're going to start with a ball like this. And if you can see the detail, it's a little more plasticky in nature, not quite as wobbly. This one is a little more rubbery and is going to be a lot harder to stabilize on. So I'm going to see if I can do this right now. So on this one, if you go onto the hard part about it is getting the shoulder stabilization while you stabilize through the core and hold that position. Makes it very difficult being on the rubbery type ball. And then if you want to make it harder, you can try and add the hip abduction like we did earlier. Now we're going to have Emily try this on this ball. But to make things a little bit easier, initially, she's going to spread her feet wider so that she has a greater base of support. And she can use her other hand to help stabilize her on the ball. So speed even a little wider. And once you feel confident, then straighten up as straight as you can. Good. So once you get the plank in this position, you're going to start bringing the feet closer together, and that'll make it even harder. The ball side plank is an excellent exercise for shoulder stabilizers, trunk stabilizers, as well as adding in the glute medius work if you're going to do a hip abduction.